Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Today na the 20th of May, 2023. The time na misai is 9:30 or 9:33 to be exact. And apologies for starting late. Very important program. But obviously, you get to make sure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed before you they go on. Because the message where you bring to the people, them is not a joke message. So once more, today, when at the 20th of May, this is not the TNN, then and now TV Media Empire program, where they bring news to una, unlike any other side, impartial news. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the program. We will bring to una this evening. And my name is Prince Emil Kroma. And again, my guest who I will introduce shortly. Please help for share and stay tuned. Okay, once more, Fambulem, welcome to the program. Thank you, all of you now. We don't begin to join. I mean, for sure, say people let me know they wait, and some people they don't get patience. They don't go elsewhere. Please come back and can watch good program, good analysis, legal analysis from somebody with a legal mind on something very important. Ladies and gentlemen, every day something they happen on the way towards election. And very critical things then happen on the way towards election. We not the overwhelm for we democracy at all. In other words, when they say that issues we pertaining to the sanctity of the state, no need for be handled, especially by the legal aspect of the nation. But other than that, other things then where they happen, where we feel say if we don't go beyond, when are weeks left to a general and presidential election, still the hunt we. The issue here at stake today, we one can talk about from a legal analysis, a legal perspective. Now, the 11th hour, as one can see the title, the 11th hour objection raised by two members of the All People's Congress against the leadership of the party, against the flag bearer, against the presidential contestant. I mean, you have to imagine that a party, your party, they go to elections. And at this particular critical time, they raise objection against your party, which means that you not get party spirit. I may be wrong on this and I stand to be corrected. But if the interest of me, now me party, then therefore I will allow me party for go forward. We can resolve we issues them in-house because this is critical. So how you they raise objection at this time? Waiting to the objection. Why the objection? So much critical at this time. Now the things that we want to understand. And today with me, we get none other but Sekou John Barry. Sekou John, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you very much, CEO. This is Sekou John Barry. Like I can always say, the man who can write the long articles there.
For sure.
So, Famulem, una thank you and una good evening. So we ask una all for make una share, make una share as much as possible. Today, like the introduction, like how the CEO don't introduce the program, we look at the objection where two APC member them do when none other persons but like Paul Kamara. Paul Kamara na a renowned person, na a journalist. Well, I think for the People newspaper, and then we get former member of parliament when Almami Kolsin Toure. Then two people here na members of the APC, and then na then raise some objections. They want for let the Supreme Court interpret certain things were related to the Constitution, and then with their presidential candidate, we na none other person but Dr. Samura Kamara. So now I've been do an article. I say, is there any strong case against Dr. Samura Kamara? So again, that 90 now banner now headlines here. So it's just for us to discuss waiting we think, but with a base with opinion on the laws of Sierra Leone, on the laws where then two people here they rely on for make them objections, or you call them for make them challenge as to whether Dr. Samura Kamara qualify for be or go qualify for be a flag bearer or something. So then the challenge. So in this case, if they do like how they don't challenge, so we will understand say the Chief Justice for appoint according to the law for appoint three judges for looking into the issue. From there, then they sit down within 30 days, they take a decision. But Fambulem, once more again, at the welcome una because I mean this now program and we just want Boku people for come and share and listen and engage. So, but before then, I just want for read for una. Maybe most of una don't see the objections. Maybe some of una don't read. But again, maybe quite a number of una not read it. So I just want for read for una certain areas. I know they delve into every section or everything where they raise. Because one, the matter they go na the Supreme Court. So we no go come waiting say yeah no to court, but we dey make una understand the issues, we dey explain the issues. But like come to una like Paul Kamara and the other person when I call Cinture, then exercise their rights because we got what we they call the Public Elections Act 2022. This Public Election Act, when a section 46, subsection 2, now in the citizens the right, say after where a political party don't go nominate, they don't go through the whole process. Uh, Now that person the way they nominate, in name they get for put under the gazette or something, then they publish them, and then but it get time, like I think between 7 days or so. So if somebody not challenge, but before that, then they inform the public where that section now what they can read for now. When now section 46 subsection 2 say a notice of nomination under subsection 1 shall direct that a citizen of Sierra Leone may lodge an objection against the nomination of a presidential candidate, but that objection shall be lodged within the Supreme Court within 7 days of the publication of the notice of nomination. So when they don't make that publication, the notice, like they call a notice of nomination, informing the people that okay, this person don't be a flag bearer, they don't nominate, I don't go through the process na ECSL. So you as a citizen, you get right. Then they ask because the document go don't go public. So you as a citizen, where you get any issue, like with that candidate that you feel say that candidate they not supposed for be a flag bearer of that political party, you get right for come and raise your objections. Then they take that matter then now to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court now judges then they appoint judges then for sit down and look into your objection, the issues them, the concerns the way you raise. So now that right there, na in Paul Kamara and Almami Colson Toure, na in their exercise, they make use of the right where na the laws of Sierra Leone na in give them. Okay, but like I say, because of the nature of the case, I no go too deep into the legal issues. But what no more we will learn for discuss certain laws, especially the laws them we then rely on, the two people them, like they rely on certain laws where now they say one they rely on section 35 subsection 4 of the 1991 constitution, and they also rely on section 76 subsection 1D of the same 1991 constitution. They rely on the wire for say, okay, based on the lawyer, Dr. Samura Kamara, he no go be qualified for become the flag bearer of the APC. But we go look for know what in the section here say. For example, I dey take una to section 35, subsection 4, they talk about well, that section 35 they talk about political parties, within the role of political parties. And then now subsection 4 they tell you about would that they be a leader of a political party. So I go elect for read for now on that section, the within the section actually talk about. Section 35, subsection 4, they tell una say nobody no go be a leader of a political party if that person dey no go able like not qualify for become a member of parliament. So that na the one of the conditions. So like anybody, like if you are a president, for example, if you don't be a flag bearer, that means say if you be one for be a member of parliament, you qualify for be a member of parliament. So now that section I try for talk about. Now we dey take una.
Seku, I be one pause you this small. Sorry for bump into you mid flow, but I be one for understand something, and many thanks for laying the premise about this case here and identifying the rights of the two individuals in persons of Paul Kamara, a journalist, I believe, or a member of the All People's Congress, and a former MP, Almami Kolsin Ture, we then bring this objection against Dr. Samura, which is their right according to the Constitution, and you don't lay the claim. But what I be want for understand from you, and I believe say the general public will be interested in, is that Dr. Samura Kamara, who in this case is the third respondent, they say it dishonest and therefore it not qualify for whole public office as by the Commission of Inquiry where they get today under Justice Biobelli George Will. I wonder whether you go you go open up for we on this particular side of the law for try for see whether you can interpret them for we for understand something will be happening today under the COI. If somebody is not found guilty or the person challenge them or the person in a court, is that person not free for conduct themselves until at a time when they are charged and convicted before they become criminal? I mean, if you can distinguish down there for we, because me self confused, please.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I get for candy, but what the public understand first, who side the whole idea of somebody being dishonest or honest come about.
Okay.
So I make I say I lay first the premise where section 35 dealt with about the qualification for somebody for a political party. You the person like where a political party they appoint or will be a flag bearer go like for qualify, you will qualify for be a member of parliament. So from there now you make they can now to una like that section, the section 35 subsection 4 of the 1991 constitution say that no political party shall have as a leader a person who is not qualified to be elected as a member of parliament. If somebody not qualified for be elected as a member of parliament, that person dey not qualified for be a flag bearer. He not qualified for be a flag bearer for leading political party. I hope say that they clear.
Yeah.
Now, so then now that they lead we now for the qualifications for membership in parliament. Therefore, would I now qualify for be a member of parliament? So then I will go to section 75 of the 1991 constitution. Then that section they tell we say subject to the provision of section 76. So like section 75 give you certain rights. Say okay, then outline who that they be, who that qualify for be a member of parliament. But then say subject to section 76. So meaning if you know, if you fail for meet the conditions the way they section 76, it can disqualify you on like you know go able benefit like or you be or you qualify under section 75. I hope say that they clear.
Yeah.
Now, what in section 75 say? They, like I've been done read and they say subject to the provision of section 76, any person who is a citizen of Sierra Leone, if you're not a citizen of Sierra Leone, you get rights, you go able for be a member of parliament. Or you don't attain the age of 21 years, you able to be a member of parliament. Okay, and then then you name them at the register, you dey vote for somebody, you get under the voting and called the Franchise and Electoral Registration Act 1961, or under any act of parliament amending or replacing that act. So let's say now you know say every almost election year then can amend, they do changes, but all that they know they violate the constitution, but now from there then they make some adjustments. So any other law back where they don't pass na parliament say okay, this person and this person qualify for become a member of parliament, then they back if you that law day you meet that day, then okay. Now, so and then say again other interesting side where then say okay, if the person able speak the English and read them with a degree of proficiency, like you able engage in a parliament. So then say shall be qualified for election as such a member of parliament. So if you meet them criteria, you go qualify for be a member of parliament. So if political party now then here in the watch, then condition the yeah, then give you symbol because you don't meet the criteria. However, until you remember earlier on, I tell you why they talk about section 75, then say subject to section 76. Now then say section 76 subsection 1 tell you say no person shall be qualified for election as a member of parliament. So I dey take you from there now to subsection D. So section 76 subsection 1D tell you say nobody no dey qualify for be a member of parliament if he has been convicted and served for an offense which involves fraud or dishonesty. So I hope say you don't catch na who with the come.
Yeah.
So this section there now, section 76, subsection 1D, now in tell you that. Say, okay, despite what in section 75 tell we, say, okay, if you're a Sierra Leonean, you don't get the age of over 20 something years, you dey speak fluent English, you register, then in the but if you na person where them been done convict, take I want to underline the word convicted, and then they say sentence for an offense which involves fraud or dishonesty. You understand? So we dey underline the word convicted, sentence, and then we dey underline fraud for offense which involve fraud and dishonesty. So you dey find out say we don't lay you dey see who side then where they come from. So now this section, what in section 76, subsection 1D, now talk about dentia. So if somebody you don't you na dishonest person, then we don't convict you, then don't sentence you for fraud, you na fraudster, you been don't do fraud, you don't do dishonesty thing, then definitely you no go qualify. So you dey find out say when they tell you say okay, then say okay, Dr. Samura Kamara, like because this na the two laws them wey Paul Kamara then say they rely on. Lago read for una day first. Waiting Paul Kamara says self waiting the right or in solicitor waiting the right. Na the na then you argument where they make, where they don't raise objections. Okay. Paul Kamara say, like, just sorry, he say, I have been informed by my solicitor and truly believe that the third respondent, that it will be there now, Dr. Samura Kamara, is ineligible to contest as a presidential candidate in the forthcoming presidential election as flag bearer of the fourth respondent, that the APC, by reason of section 35 subsection 4 and section 76 subsection 1 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Act number 6 of 1991. So you don't see, they say now this they rely on. And now then two lawyer have been telling about Gigi Snow, fumble them. Why I tell una say, okay, I don't read them, I don't discuss them for una, would I qualify for be a member of parliament, a political party, no, they only appoint somebody where they qualify, will qualify for be a member of parliament. Now that person they will qualify for be the head or the flag bearer of the political party. So you dey find out say now them two lawyer of the 1991 constitution, now in they rely on for for support them in their argument for say Dr. Samura Kamara no qualify for be a member of, for be a flag bearer for a political party. But like take una now to the reasons them now where they advance say, okay, now because of them wire, this man not qualify. One, they raise issues, say the Dr. Samura Kamara no qualify because them believe say Dr. Samura then don't find and for say dishonest. For example, let's say the third respondent, Dr. Samura Kama, was further found to be dishonest in public office by the Commission of Inquiry of the Honorable Justice Bio Bailey George Will. So now this now the thing then they try for lay a premise say, okay, this now the argument. Now the objection say, okay, because of the Commission of Inquiry, they say been done found Dr. Samura Kamara say, honest. So if they find out say, okay, now then they try for connect now the findings of the Commission of Inquiry to the laws them were just explained to una, which is now now this one it particularly focus on 76 subsection 1D. Okay, so now then go back now the other points. Say the third respondent, that is Dr. Samura Kamara again, they say is currently standing criminal trial at the High Court of the Republic of Sierra Leone for an offense of fraud before Honorable Justice Fisher. So they say as we speak, or let's say Dr. Samura Kamara is stand trial. Now the High Court, the court of Judge Adrian Fisher, Justice Fisher. So again, the charge and they say now some corruption related to the Chancery building in New York. So nothing the way fraud, and they say because it stand that trial day, so them believe say okay, well now other grounds back they raise say okay because of the mandate stand trial, so therefore for qualify for be a flag bearer of a political party. And other thing also they raise, they say that there is currently a pending court matter inter alia with respect to the eligibility of the third respondent to contest as a presidential flag bearer of the All People Congress Party. So this one back at the then before Honorable Mrs. Justice Anna Boni. So they say another case back they pending where people let me don't go challenge. They say Dr. Samura Kamara not for not eligible. So that case they been there. Okay, I want to remind Fumble them about that case. Say of course up to last minute to the convention, the APC then they been get some fet among themselves. So they been get some set of people where been go challenge them, say okay this person go qualify for be a flag bearer or something like that in the day. So but that matter there, I remember where them be pass an injunction. So but later them be lift that injunction day again, where the APC then go conduct the elect in the Dr. Samura Kamara. So like I dey tell una no more, because then cases here na then they na court, then they alive. So we no go deep into that. Okay, but other issues them back them be raised, would I get right for conduct, would I get right for take part na the convention, would I for electoral and then thing in the I no go into that. Now make I tell una say I just dey select them key, there one are the key arguments them. So I just select the wire them for discourse, because these are the laws them where they rely on in their objections. Okay, so now because of them grounds here, now then grounds here they rely one, among others, like the first one I dey tell why I say I no go touch into. Now would I qualify for conduct the convention, or would I not qualify for take part in that? Then they are not going to talk that side, because like I tell you, I no go want to go too deep into the issue. But I dey take the three key points them where they raise now. One, where they say Dr. Samura Kamara he get a pending case with this Justice Anaboni, were related to a challenge where people have been non challenge and say eligible for become a flag bearer. Okay, with the other case where you get for deal with the corruption matter where they get, where say I mean, say Honorable Fisher, Justice Fisher, don't adjourn the matter till after the elections. So then they back now, it related, like I say, in like corruption issues. So again, they say based on that day, for qualify, right? With now the findings of the Commission of Inquiry. So now, you they find out say if now they rely on these matters, but the issues them where they rely on one, now take the Commission of Inquiry matter, the findings of the Commission of Inquiry. Say where the SFPP can have power, then institutes, then do first the GTT report, then take stock. As normal, any government can, where new government can come, do that day. So then do then waiting serve, and then say okay, because of waiting them don't find, well then get some terms the way they use, how they're not been too okay. So they decide say what, look out people, they say independent judges for come look into these issues. So then count then judges there. Yeah, when one day the way a famous past they all win a justice Biobelly. Then they judge. So then they in handle most of the what is a it's like controversial cases or something. So anyway, for cut matter, long story short, then what he said they investigate Boku people, Boku former ministers, them who know say that Alala been dey back, draw been dey, with that. So but then find a lot of people them one thing say, okay, no, you know what, una been use excess. But I want for they bring certain laws them back where related to that.
So I want to let you take a brief pause there, if you will, please, because Fambulem, again, this is now the TNN TV media empire. We did talk about the objection, the 11th hour raised by two individuals them who supposedly were exercising their rights under constitutional obligation against the APC presidential candidate, Dr. Samura Kamara. And with me at the studio, we get a legal analyst where they surprise a lot of people, because as they lay the case today, it sounds so very professional. But because now legality we talk about, you see, today not to speculation. We want for let family understand a lot of things. And Seiko, before you, I've just paused you. I hope so you hold your thoughts right there before you go any further. Two critical questions they want to ask you. You talk about the relationship to Section 75 and Section 76, subsection 1 of the 1991 Constitution, where Yeah, where they talk about a person shall be qualified as a member of parliament if such person has been, which is critical right there. You will understand what I'm saying. How
This
is this
person no go be
applicable to the third respondent?
eh?
How is this applicable to the third respondent, when not Dr. Samura Kamara? And the second part of me thoughts is looking at this objection filed, even though they get a right for file an objection,
Mhm.
but the kind of objection where they file in the case where you delay so. Now, this individual then get a right for make that case day against Dr. Samora or not the state.
No, well, now make them tell you say now make what you read. I read for you earlier on way section 46. I think the Public Elections Act, sections 46 subsection 4, where tell you say now like where they don't publish that notice, they then don't say okay, they don't nominate so person for become a member. So now like they can announce them where you don't citizen they now get right for challenge. So they say citizens. So they
Okay,
not say government or anybody. So when you
okay,
as a citizen now, how the state can involve you as a citizen or concerned citizen, you don't can raise an objection. You get maybe through your solicitor or you barrister or whatever, you don't raise that voting self day, that objection day. Then the chief justice, so the law day back where say the chief justice they appoint three judges for look into the citizen in concern, the objection wey e raise. So
yeah,
not only like for say past government, no, na any citizen can vote himself as long as you get strong you anyway you get grounds. Then where dem go na court now, the judges in the Supreme Court they look into the issues, whether you get case or whether you not get case, whether you grounds them strong or whether you grounds them not strong.
okay. Many thanks for that clarification. I think you can go further.
Okay, thank you very much. So, but before now we dey go, like I been tell una say the commission of inquiry been find lot of them say okay they not been do the right thing. So later, but again, I dey give una the the law because today na legal we dey talk. Today not to that journalism. So section 49 of the Sierra Leone Constitution. Sorry, Section 149 of the Sierra Leone Constitution. Now I talk about like commission of inquiry, where you say okay, then get right for form a commission of inquiry president, anything way concern to public interest. Like the president get power for appoint uh, a public inquiry, which is a commission, appoint judges, them when e give them then get power for investigate, look into the issues them when a public concern or public interest, where the government or the president feel say no, this is a public interest something. So I know they go like again from one section to the section. I just dey tell una say inside that law, the way the law provides say okay, the president get the power for set up a commission of inquiry for investigate issues of public interest. Now that same law say e say wey dem don set up this commission of inquiry, dem don do all wetin dem for do, dem don investigate, dem don find people, dem call them persons of interest, dem don find them wey I say okay, you know what, that one not been do the right thing. For example, one of the thing that I get for Canto now again specifically wetin dem been give the powers them wey dem give the commission of inquiry, the thing the way they look for, wey dem dey look for. Well, you don't understand. So now, but let's say the commission of inquiry, where they don't do them find this, they don't meet Mr. X, say, okay, Mr. X, he misappropriate money, he does some money be lost, or able to account for this money. They make then get what they call for make recommendation. Then get right, then they make the recommendation, then present unto the government or the president, for let the president act on them. So then they tell una say, okay, now this person some money be lost na ministry, but you no be able to account, you no been get document them for support this argument, or even they live some kind lifestyle way, you know, match up to the money we been they receive per, or like in payment. So it's like you know, then thing in there. So now if they don't say okay, now Mr. X for pay certain money, or they say okay, maybe they can say even they can do, the government will come up with a white paper now for either accept the recommendation or reject some or make adjustment. So now, but this same 1991 constitution say it tell we na one section, section 149 subsection 4 say where a commission of inquiry makes an adverse finding against any person which may result in penalty, forfeiture, or loss of status. So now listen, oh, if a commission of inquiry don't find somebody, then don't make then don't come up with a finding against Mr. X, for example. Then say now that finding is a way go result in penalty. Maybe then say okay, like you know, for let you pay for something where you don't do. For more or less, whether you say directly or indirectly, wey for make you suffer no more, you pay penalty. Like wey Salomon dey say, you dey pay for that the penalty of this your action. Okay, or dem say or forfeiture, forfeiture. Now you don you dey forfeit certain things. For example, dem can say okay, now this person bin get 10 houses dem, but you no able show we how e get 10 houses there, yeah, and im money wey dem bin dey pay am, like wey we don calculate, e no able buy the house here. So therefore, because e no able for provide for tell we say okay, no, na this and or in money in salary not be match with this gentry we get, we dey seize the house here, then they sell am back, or then put am back na the consolidated funds. If na shares back, if you get money, maybe na company get in a shareholder, you know able waiting self, then can do boku thing, then can take her, then can seize your property, then even you account some money, then can waiting self and take them from you, put am at the consolidated funds. But the law say section 49, 149 subsection 4 say when that thing, when the law, when the commission of inquiry in findings don't reach that stage, they say okay, Mr. X, now if for when if you face the penalty for this thing because you know able account for this, or if you forfeit certain thing, or maybe like okay, loss of status, you know, then thing and the way that affect you in a society. Because remember, we dey deal with public figures. Some man na ministers, some man na former president, some man na directors. So then thing and they imagine that now you name first nine the damage. You understand? So now, but the law say the report of the commission of inquiry shall, for the purpose of this commission, be deemed to be a judgment of the High Court of Justice. So that report then they deem am, then they consider and say now a judgment like any judgment of the High Court of Justice. And so now what in the time for say, so if they don't regard that commission of inquiry findings say equivalent or equal to the High Court of Justice judgment of the High Court of Justice, accordingly, then that person they get right for say for appeal. They say accordingly an appeal shall lie as of right from the commission to the court of appeal. So the somebody back himself get the right now for appeal, because this matter yeah, then they consider that outcome of the commission of inquiry say okay, he just feeble like or equivalent to that judgment of the High Court of Justice. So therefore, if you know no more now in the High Court, if they don't try you, you know okay, then you can go to the appeals court. So what are the type for bring now? Now the one they way they don't adversely find something against them by the commission of inquiry, the law allow them for appeal that decision. So even this now for back up this one back, they bring for now voting President Julius Maada Bio SSF talk where he received the commission, where he received the findings of the commission of inquiry. He say what he do in statement. I know they go because he long. He say, however, he say now the president emphasized say respect of the rule of law. He say persons and entities affected by the recommendations are guaranteed a peaceful and transparent judicial appeal process through which they seek relief. You understand? So that not the president, Julius Madabio, when he received the findings of the commission of inquiry, he assured them people, they say, no, he say what? Una get rights, una get, he say that's why they are be a like process they una go appeal this decision. He said, but he advised he want back, let people let not vex, then take the loan at the hand, or people then cause kuskas because they don't find Mr. X wanting or this. What you make at the ladies' premise now? And for telling about why Paul Kamara they rely on the Commission of Inquiry findings. Now, yes, they been find, of course, they been almost all the former government minister, they almost, I know they say they all people and they way they not been get anything negative against them or they call an adverse findings. But most of them, majority they been get issues. So Dr. Samura Kamara being one of the people them way them been find adverse findings from the Commission of Inquiry, he be lodged an appeal. He appeal against the Commission of Inquiry. A lot of former ministers them back where like Madam Diana Kodomani themselves, they all be appeal. So Dr. Samura Kamara, from where he appeal, 30 days will not get any results. They not sit on the matter yet, they not come out with the results. So if that is the case, the question here is, if this person don't appeal na the appeals court, and now the court don't sit down, not take decision as to whether then confirm the outcome, say no, you know what, all una argument una don't bring, whether because I don't know what in the argument where now which grounds then appeals hinges or hinge. So if we know that grounds they now for not able to argue back based on the argument where them been presented at the Commission of Inquiry. So now maybe they will say maybe the judge he go beyond in limit, or the judge been biased, or he not take into account then your evidence where then what is then thing then they, because as I've been they read some cases where then they say even that person will go evaluate them property there, not to a professional person, even sabi better. So then thing in this. So we don't know the grounds them on which Dr. Samura Kamara appeal that decision or the outcome of the Commission of Inquiry. But the most important thing we family need to know is that the matter not settled yet. The appeals, the issue then at the appeals court, they not look at them. So the question where we all for ask, and when me ask na me article, because that matter day, they no the appeals court no take any decision yet on, and they no hear and listen to both argument and make a judgment. So Dr. Samura Kamara guilty, he dishonest because of that. What about Leo assume say then say okay, yeah, he dishonest. But then now the appeals court look at Denton and they then say no, the Commission of Inquiry was wrong. You understand? So that is why, like again, that I argue in million articles say no, since this matter no settled yet by the appeals court, I not feel say that na me own opinion based on the laws they were read for now. And I get right to them. I not feel say based
Absolutely.
yeah, I not feel say based on this, then get strong legs to stand on.
So they not get strong legs for stand on, Seku. I mean, looking at the entire case and the interest of the public, I go one for let you rob Mott Fernandez small, because the courts go get for take account of the interest by the general public, especially so with the kind of person, the stature of the person involved, and the stake with the case, especially again so at a very critical time. What do you think Seku would supposed for happen in a case of this kind? Because I sure say we don't see precedents them before.
Yeah, okay. I don't know whether it will be safe for me for discuss the other limb. Where then later now with the come with the lay this premise, with the lay the argument, then at the one side first, the one
All right, far away then.
yeah, the aspects the we don't treat, the we don't take first, now the commission of inquiry, they will don't lay down this. So the question then now whether based on this matter in appeals court, whether still you go consider the man whether say okay dishonest based on that findings you dey call and say dishonest, therefore for be a flag bearer. But now let we come to the other matter back where other issue where they raise, where they say in similar self, so we go take self, we dey lump them together because the other objections them where some APC members them we don't go challenge na the court back to Justice Anaboni, say Dr. Samura Kamara no eligible for be flag bearer or for contest for being flag bearer. So I don't know what in much na the young grounds, but the fact is that matter they pending. So meaning it in a court and they're not looking to the matter. So imagine the same court, Justice Anaboni will be issue an injunction, now in lift back the injunction. There will go. So whether because I be but I not kill for once this na legal thing, go speculate more, go speculate enough. But we don't know what are the reasons, the argument, but I not say no more public interest, something in there inside and then consider a lot of stuff. But let we go because let we say because now this matter again, it in a court. It pending, meaning it in a court, they not sit down, they not look at the evidence and listen to the argument from both sides. Then they take decision based on the argument and the law. Because that did not happen. But they say this person is not eligible. So we go consider and say, yes, now true, this man not eligible. The matter did it, they not decide on that. You understand? So we go say eligible, therefore they're not for make a flag bearer because they don't go challenging eligibility in a court. So this is another argument. Okay, let's go now the last one now one for discourse again. We get for deal with the corruption case where Dr. Samura and others get a court. Now then charge them, yes, for corruption. It did like the trial they go on, and in fact one of the reasons them where agent judge justice agent Fisa give where he adjourned the matter till after the elections. Now forgive Dr. Samura chance for he go dey do in campaign and other thing them with the party, because at the end of the day then get for watch again the interest of democracy day and the country na a democratic state. So if a figure like this involved and a presidential candidate, so is it fair and just for every day like can court or every other day they get for campaign and all that? And the judge back now is Sierra Leonean, the law day for serve the public, the people, the people's interest. Okay, so the Justice Fisher says now in grant this man say, okay, you know what? Would they adjourn this matter till after elections? Okay, so they will say because of now the man stand trial again. So you go classify and say it is honest. So where is the where they say because the law tell you say like somebody then presume I'm innocent until a competent court find am guilty. And if you watch now, this they take me now to section 76, subsection 1D, where it tell you say, where it talk exactly like now at the count to see the question will be asked now, where they say now somebody not for qualify for be a member of parliament if they don't convict them, then convict her and sentence them for fraud or dishonesty. So now you dey tell me say now imagine the law say if then convict and sentence the person. Na the law say that day, not to me say that day. You understand? So the law
Yeah.
say there, I they go, I they repeat back, I they can't dey for let people to understand. properly. The law, section 76, subsection 1A of the Constitution, tell people and say, now, it state clearly say, no person shall be qualified for election as a member of parliament if he has been convicted. Listen, the word there, if he has been convicted. So the question here is, Dr. Samura, now let's take first the anti-corruption case where they go on. Has he been convicted? Has he been sentenced for the offense here? The answer is no. So how will they go rely on this for say the man not qualify? You understand? So there, to me, and the law I read now, and I believe say where they go and the Supreme Court now, they were back then get for really discourse, then get for argument, get for calm, we get for do with them here.
So let me take you back for a second based on that deliberation, the way you just make that opinion, the way you just posit. Because that left we all kind of confused. I know you deal with part of earlier on, going back to Justice Biobelli and the COI findings.
Mm-hmm.
Is it not in conflict with the current? Because when Justice Biobelli been rendered in decision,
Mm-hmm.
didn't he find these people like guilty and therefore they may get for paid and dues as opposed to Justice Biobelli in verdict?
Okay, I think you give me just I want Fambulem una the watch then and now, and I want for really make people listen to this issue here. But let me just bring some kiki something then because I know say maybe similar question ya can come. Remember, this is not a commission of inquiry, not to a good. So let me just go through something here. What been the look earlier on regarding this commission of inquiry thing. Good.
Okay, while she look let we just run we clip quickly. Fambulem na the then and now TNN Media Empire now na they watch today. And this is a very special broadcast regarding court case where two APC operative then bring against the own flag bearer and presidential candidate Dr. Samura Kamara. And then two individuals there, then they in the person of Paul Kamara, who happened to be a journalist. And then the second individual who happens to be Mr. Alemami Colson Ture is a former MP. They raised objection against Dr. Wilson Samura Kamara, and it looked like say waiting in the trial for ascribed to is unfit for office as a consequence of dishonesty. But the law will now the legal experts for today's program, they lay waste for we and make it so simple for let we understand, quoting section by section the Constitution and the various law and the case history as a whole. They tell we say there are conflicts right there. And this is not the case where they try for make. Will they bring and come back again in shortly after this short break? Once more, Fambul, and this is not the TNN TV Media Empire. Today, now the 20th of May, 2023. Very interesting and important discussion. Sekou John, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much Fambulem, like again, they join me CEO of Then and Now for welcome una, and then we ask una for invite more people, or then una just forward them the links so that we get as many people as we can. So okay, this commission of inquiry, what in a commission of inquiry? Because some people they say, no, well, this now we don't talk with section 149 of the subsection 4. of the constitution tell una say okay the judgment can be a judge like the findings of the commission of inquiry. Now make them know they call ourselves a judgment and they say that if na findings because then they for investigate whether something dem bin don go wrong, then they make recommendation. So I dey bring una dey count one case wey na a case wey dem say the state versus one Abdullahi Conte 2002 to 2008. Dis na there now Justice Eba say that a commission of inquiry are investigative bodies and not courts. So commission of inquiry not to courts.
Yeah.
So yeah, so a case there when the state versus Abdullahi Conte 2002 to 2008. So now Justice Eba say that the commission of inquiry are investigative bodies and not courts. They do not make final orders or issue judgments when such are vested in the judiciary. So not to they know they I think say this one is clear, explanatory. So for Bekuna no more say okay no because commission of inquiry no they call anybody they find this no they call say okay you not criminal no.
Yeah, exactly, Sekou John. And again, sorry again for barge into your flow. Because during that period of commission of inquiry, we see beaucoup confusion on the part of waiting was being prescribed at the time, and how the aggrieved party or the party will be there and at the other end of the whip of Justice Biobelli been vehemently try for defend themselves, saying that this setup, a commission of inquiry, in powers cannot be greater than the courts of the Republic of Sierra Leone. And there were some arguments about the rules of committee, rules of committee, if you can remember. I wonder what was all this about. And coming forward now, then still they take we back to Justice Biobelli in ruling at the time, where they in conflict with the constitution and the courts of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Is this deliberate? I mean, I don't want to speculate again, but it's the law that we deal with.
Yeah. So no, what you they say like again like well I don't go say na the findings of the commission of inquiry no they within the law because then the judges them the Justice Biobelli and the commission of inquiry were legally constituted.
But it feels like they were rendering more of a recommendation.
No, yeah, at the camp. But what I read for una so now for tell una say the commission of inquiry not to a court. This not to me say this not the law. And now make a bring for una say the state versus Abdullahi Conte 2002 to 2008, where Justice Eba say commission of inquiry are investigative bodies and not courts. They do not make final orders or issues judgment when such are vested in the judiciary. Okay, so now they went further say an inquiry has no power to act outside its terms of reference. It may only investigate those matters that are covered by the terms of reference. You understand? So the limit, commission of inquiry get limitation. The limit, not to a criminal like for say they will engage in a criminal court. No. You come, you investigate, you say, okay, like I be explained earlier, when I don't investigate, when I don't do these findings, and now then other people back, the persons of interest get right for challenge the decisions. So I want for take una back one other case where now Fayali Ganim versus Attorney General and now the Supreme Court of the Gambia. They back Honorable Justice H.B. Jallo is say the commission of inquiry. The commission is not a lawmaking body. It has no legislative power and does not fall within the legislature. It is an investigative, fact-finding body which makes findings and recommendations that are subject to the approval of the government. So what in this they try for Teruna say? Commission of inquiry they now for investigate. Then can they investigate, they find out about something, then the thing the way government fee say now of public interest, if whether them feel say okay, the past government don't eat boku money, this and them money and the people the money na government na state money, so let them can investigate and find out. So what in the business of that commission of inquiry now for can find do they find this, they make the report, they make again the recommendations. So that recommendation is left back to government whether they accept it or not. So even if government accept it, then it's still subject. The person get right for appeal that outcome day. And that the appeals courts. So now this will they try for say. So the question here is if that appeal they not be exhausted, like the appeals court not sit down and look into the matter, then come out with a say, okay, no, well, based on this, if we don't find out, say the commission of inquiry was right. In fact, I they bring something where an issue where justice where one of we judges the Justice Fatmata Bintu Al Hadi.
Sorry, go ahead, Sekou.
Okay. So the matter like for just tell una say the one of the issues them we been come where former minister of lands, and then he don't serve various what is ministry in the government of former president Ernest Bai Koroma, when are not person but Diana Konomani. So I've been the reading case in appeal, but I just read from on one side where the judge, Honorable Justice Fatmata Bintu Al Hadi. So he say, I hereby order the Anti-Corruption Commission to conduct a forensic valuation, audit, and investigation of the said property at I don't care and sole proprietorship business and her companies. What are they trying for say? Now this now the judge after the appeal, where the Anna Konomani appeal against the outcome of the commission of inquiry about were related to this woman improperty then. So then the in lawyer then argue say no, this person where they evaluate them property are not qualify, then bring evidence them. So the judge make now a recommendation say lady anti-corruption commission then conduct thorough forensic evaluation, let them investigate and see. You understand? So you dey find out say now if the matter, let us say then persons of interest, they don't take the matter to the appeals court. Then now you dey see the judges then at the appeals court now. Then can look into the matter and then they recommend say, you know what, let anti-corruption come inside, let them investigate. And then even the some issues, some outstanding issues them where the commission of inquiry not be able settle. So you dey find out say then invite the anti-corruption say okay now you know what una can investigate, or even day back like the commission of inquiry they make even further recommendations say no we dey call on the anti-corruption commission for come do further investigation and prosecute. So meaning the commission of inquiry they no get that power for prosecute, not to a criminal trial person the goodie. You understand? What you know more if they find you, then say okay you dishonest or what yourself, then when I go na the appeals court, then don't confirm that then definitely it don't stand. But as long as decision the appeals court no confirm, they no look at the issue, they make the judgment. I believe say it will be unsafe or make somebody say based on that because it didn't the commission of inquiry don't do this and then it is the matter still then at the appeals court, therefore this person dishonest, that I believe say you are not then a safe terrain for say that. Hello, will you get some issues or
No, not at all. Adeyeyi, you are just mute me, Mike.
okay,
Because I get
okay.
disturbance in the background, so you can continue.
Yeah. So anyway, that na the issues. So now where the argument is like whether really like because you it's like the person like you dey based on speculation in this sense because since let's say the corruption case, they not find the man guilty. So you go say no, the man, because he dey stand trial for corruption, he dishonest. No, wait for the outcome. Wait for the outcome. Now make the court they spend the state they spend money
So,
for
Sekujon, I mean, yeah, this is the law, and you are of the legal cloth, if you like. But it's even clear to you, because even as you opine on the basis of the law, it's like this particular man is innocent until proven guilty. I not believe say it's the other way around.
yeah.
But why the court in its honorable self go look at a case of this magnitude and even accept them and allow all of this noise for day around, at such a critical period when they could have easily dismissed it on the basis of the same law, say, all water.
Yeah, but again, then go only dismiss her when they look at the merit and demerit of the issues on the grounds. So they're not gonna say, but no, boy, say go under you for no. That not the way the law they operate. You come, you don't make your arguments, you don't quote your law like that section here we then rely on, then solicitor they prepare the case, their own argument. So then Dr. Samura in own them back will prepare their own defense or other thing. Then come, then because mostly what thing then talk safe and say now for lady Supreme Court, let them interpret the laws. So now therefore interpret then what thing I interpret.
So again, Sekujo, let me say something, because there's something critical here. There's the essence of time.
Mhm.
If we understand the entirety of what is going on, then we can factor them inside this case.
Mhm.
It's important that we look at the nomination calendar. That a nomination has been done, and I believe in a part now on a part of this structure, some of this objection is being raised, which eventually, if it succeed, would disqualify the candidate himself. So now this nomination window, it get a time frame, it get for close. So if this case, and it's a very tight window, this is the 11th hour, and I make a title on the 11th hour. If the nomination window closes before they begin for look at the case, because right now everything is being suspended apart from the nomination itself, then that means this candidate is not going to go forward for being the presidential candidate for the opposition party until the courts look at the merits and demerits of the case.
No, but okay, but the law, they know the law, the way they frame the law, then take all entire into consideration. Now make them tell you say then give the judges a specific line. They say between that days day. Then believe say the judges then go act fast for make
Okay.
because they know what in the ahead. You understand? Because the essence is not to for let somebody just come with any kind type of objections for come through roadblocks along the democratic roads. So that take me to some of the issues that have been discussed. I believe say judges in any country, when they take decision, especially then they consider, especially like then kind decision, yeah, we get for do with the public interest. So you they check. So I believe say all that in the interest of democracy. So how this go impact to democracy? If they say then disqualify Dr. Samura Kamara, for example, how it will impact? What thing will be the ramifications na the country? Because remember, now, of course, whether somebody agree or not, now APC and SAPP don't the rule Sierra Leone from where we get independence. Save the military coup the way been happen, but then they know to what is it. But under the democracy, now APC and SAPP, and you go tell me say, well, it arguable. So the APC will tell you say we get a larger membership than SAPP back they argue the same. You understand? But like now you go check now, okay, what in the public interest? Then the way now. Judges then they take decision. Yes, then they look at the law, then they look at again the security of the state. So let's say we take this decision, what will happen? Then democracy back there at stake as well. So because some critics they will say, ah no, now government they behind this. Some man they say no, some man now for just spoil no more than they what is it. So all them thing and they factor inside. So now the judges in their own wisdom now they go sit down and say, okay, the law, okay, now let's look at this, and then okay, then get what they call then take certain thing based on public policy. Then take that then now hinges around what they call like the public interest. What are the public interest in this? So you dey find out say more or less like a similar decision may happen. That's a way dem may say for slam an injunction on the APC, let them no hold them flag bearer. And you know say that end day back, they mean dey within time frame. You understand? They mean the race now because then for appoint that person the certain time for meet up the nomination and then thing in day. So if them be slam that injunction day, say for how many weeks or so, it will affect the calendar. You understand? So almost now a similar pattern there. So the only thing now, well, the judges them now the Supreme Court, of course, they get for work within the timeline because the SSF know one, they know say democracy day at stake, or they'll say, yeah, of course. And now they know say now one of the biggest political party in the country. So they'll say last minute to now say this man on the contest. So you call that democracy or waiting? I don't know. Of course, we get small political party them, but they find out say even now as we speak, and again this don't happen in the past, not to foresee now, but the ruling party all the time it can get financially powerful past the opposition party, and then can flex the muscles financially and otherwise. So let's say you pull that other policy where they pose a democratic challenge to the ruling party, you say, okay, let hot they were lay come out. So he left them small party way from where they informed and they not win even council seat. So you they call that fair competition.
Anyway, Sekou John, I mean, many thanks. At least you've provided a legal perspective about this happening. And in my opinion, you succinctly made the case. You are very eloquent. And I'm sure people that we've been confused further on, then we don't get some insight. Any final word, any advice to the general population? Any final word on this entire debacle, if I can call it so?
Yeah. So like I believe say now only we don't discuss the key side like from the way they mention about the commission of inquiry. Commission of inquiry then get their own mandate with them in give them. They say for investigate, see what in whether for find out and see whether the money are being chop money way pass the salary, like them in the live life above what in them in the earn, so to speak. So then thing then they would order thing them. But now like of course the people that way then get where the commission of inquiry make findings adversely against them, then get right for appeal. So if they get right for appeal, I believe say they wait for the appeals court decision. So again, if the trial they go on back like way they with Justice Fisher, you know done it, you know we go call that man they say dishonest because they don't charge him for corruption. And instead don't mount up in defense. You know go wait till then the waiting self then conclude before you say okay, because that now a competent court of Sierra Leone. Okay, so like that thing in the end now, if you go now, the who side they rely on when section 76 subsection 1D, waiting it talk where if somebody no go qualify for be a member of parliament, if that person then don't convict them and sentence them for fraud or dishonesty. So that thing in the so it clear. So you ask yourself, you where they go and say now this, now that, you read the NTR, read the lawyer, you apply na the with the facts wey dey. So before they go now, I just dey say like again, well we not can na this program for tell the Supreme Court wetin for do. But again, we just remind all man say okay, we say we know at least what is the legal issues, and we know say na their argument here. The argument then get for the argument the way get for come up. And to be honest, like I conclude na my article, Sierra Leoneans, especially like some of we go like for read the argument them, the judges them, how the judges them go reach to conclusion. Because again, this is how the law develops. People they for challenge certain issues. So now the any decision where then Supreme Court judges here take, they serve as a precedent. You know, the other then go use them in the future. Then like how normal I explain now about the other case, this Abdullah Conte 2008 to 2012, 2002 to 2008. So now so the law they develop. So, but again, I see one small problem. I go one really like judges them. For example, the issue Yahweh come, you know, the judges then can bring out if they take any decisions, then bring out the argument and how they will arrive at those decisions. So one other thing we are not too okay with, and they see like okay certain important cases now only one judge they tell you or maybe the chief justice or whether he go make a judgment, he say okay now so I arrive, so they see the other judges and they say okay I agree they sign. But if you watch other western cases they each judge back they can instead they present in your own argument how he arrive for agree with this judge. Some they dissent, some they say no, I don't agree. So some work out different. So most time the one they work in dissent where they not can agree with the what is a something then can get value points past the majority. But until now, like they say, okay, now let's say five or three judges. Now the majority way to say this now in. So the other one, if in dissent, most of the time they can count valuable thing them law them where they can strong argument where some courts themselves can quote that argument. So now so the law they develop. Not to anyway, but I don't want to go too deep into that. But I mean, legal issues like now make you dey enjoy for it certain legal what is it because judges then they argue or like judges then they bring their argument say okay, they all can agree, but then get different route where they take. And again, all this is backed by the law, but
Yeah.
then maybe they can at the same conclusion. So now so the law they develop. You
Yeah.
understand? But if five judges now when I don't sit down or three, so they okay, one person just right, then the other one is just say I agree and sign. Well, I not go talk more than this, but I mean we need for do what is them follow the law develop in our country. But again, I no go me no go like even though na a crucial time and na like we don't go close almost to election where some people in the perceive and say well now for disrupt. Well, it left to how somebody see am. But again, if you find out even the West, na yeah, na so the law they develop. People like who can't challenge issues. Say, okay, no, you know what? Let's challenge this issue, yaba. So based on that, now where the courts don't go sit down and talk about her and then don't pass a rule, you don't see the law don't develop that area, they don't solve. So for example, let's say this thing don't happen, like Dr. Samura Kamara. So the now like how everything they on pending, ongoing. So the outcome of the judge of these objections go develop the law in that area. Next time, let's say other candidates don't face the same thing. What then will make reference to this case? You understand? So now so the law they develop. So anyway,
And
that brings me to the to the end of we discussion and fabulum like the CEO say until this now we but me not to the other apprentice here now.
anyway, Fabulem, it's been a brilliant, brilliant run. I mean, the young man has shown his mettle, and it's almost like a role playing, almost like you in court and interpreting the law, almost like he's wearing the robe and the wig. Now, so he cut across. I mean, very, very informational, very, very inspiring. I'm sure you enjoy this. But bear in mind, this is what the then and now the TNN TV media empire does. It bring out information which is very informative, very critical, very useful, so that when people make them decision, then decisions they are based on a well-informed basis. This is not the TNN TV media empire. Bear in mind, just like the Sekou John say, it's the law. It's very interesting. You might feel aggrieved now, but I saw the law they develop. So somebody tested, they'll say, well, I test this thing, but I'll see how it will play out. So it's the duty of the lawyer them and the judges them and the courts them for make sure say them provide that opportunity there so they will deliberate on them. And this is the case. But bear in mind the final word. With legal jurisprudence says a man is innocent until proven guilty. On that basis, they I beg for leave una. If you like what you hear, if you like what you see, please follow our page. Please like our page. Goodbye for now. Thank you very much.
Didon.